I'm out here in the garden. We have gone through and changed it up a whole lot. A lot has changed since I did any kind of recording on anything. We had gone through and pulled off the covering and the wood chips and all that, and then did a cover crop. I've since cut the cover crop, went through and put cardboard down in the pathways, and then forked the beds. And I realized that wasn't going to work. We had Bermuda, so I decided to go ahead and basically redo it. And so put cardboard down, bought in some compost, and had it all done. It was all 7 beds right here were all set up, and I didn't put out our tomatoes and stuff like that because I saw that there was a storm coming, and in that storm, a tree hit our house. It flooded. We got somewhere, I think, between 3 to 7 inches of rain in a super short period of time. It flooded out this entire garden, washed out this bed over here, big section of it, washed out
that path and those two,
yeah,
and those 2 beds and those 2 paths.
Yeah, so washed out a whole bunch of stuff over here, and pretty much the whole garden was destroyed. And we lost a little bit of our plants that we had bought, so we were in big trouble. So we got everything fixed back up. We had a bunch of volunteers come over. I bought some more compost, and now I've got tomatoes, a bunch of tomatoes here, cool weather crops here. So we've got squashes and cucumbers. I've moved out my broccoli and collards and kale, and anyway, but just a couple of things that I have learned. Being from Texas, I've kind of threw myself off. One, I started all my seeds too early, and then 2, I've got stuff transplanted out too early. So I don't know how a lot of this is going to do, but you know, it's a big learning process.
Some of it's doing amazing.
Some of it is doing amazing. So we've gone through and planted up a bunch of stuff. So one thing I did this year, I started a whole bunch of basil. So I've got basil in between the tomatoes, and I don't usually do that. That's new. And then I've also gone through and to your left where she's showing you, I put green beans in between it. So that's a new thing as well. And we've got multiple marigolds on pretty much every bed, at least most of the beds. And so I've had kind of a circus of different stuff, fighting Bermuda and stuff being washed out and all kinds of problems. But so far, we've ended up getting it all done. We've got stuff out here growing from seed. I've got a whole bunch of plant starts over there, trying some other kind of stuff. It's getting better. I'm learning more about this place and how to grow it and all that kind of thing. So I'm over here where I've got a bunch of potatoes planted. Right there, that's where the water cut through. And it actually just rushed over this entire thing and went on out. So it did a whole bunch of moving of chips on top of destroying all of that. But thankfully none of it was really damaged here. But what I do have is I planted a whole bunch of potatoes. So I've never grown potatoes up here. I put them in a different spot last year. They did not do very well. These have done magnificently better than the others, and so it's kind of hard to tell because I need to get out here with a weed eater and chop down a bunch of stuff. But you can see it's all planted here. It actually goes all the way down there to those peach trees. One thing I also did is, with all the economic stuff kind of going crazy, I went ahead and did some food security stuff. So I ended up buying way more potatoes than I've ever bought, and so I've got a whole pile over here. It goes all the way back behind you. And that's not quite obvious. I've got it over here as well. A lot of them are coming up, not every one of them, but a lot of it's starting to come up and doing pretty well so far.
So our 2 little beds of beans and tomatoes are kind of sad looking. It's hard to tell that they're tomatoes. So with these 2 beds, we were just going to try the cover crop and not do the cardboard with compost on top. But we knew the Bermuda would probably still be a problem, and sure enough it is. The other reason this looks so bad is because this is a huge section that was washed out by all the floodwaters when we had the tornado. And so we just didn't really recover from that part too well. And since things were already in the ground, we've decided to just kind of not do as much with it.
So one thing that we did, this is the cover crop going full blast with a little bit of a different mix. So it's got vetch and clover and peas and different stuff. All right, so here's some chickens. So what I'm doing is I'm moving them every single day, and I'm dragging them through the cover crop. You can see what I've done so far. I'm going to come back and cut a lot of the stray pieces, but I'm moving them around our trees.